Hi guys! Okay, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Miss Kate. I do the piano instruction for Girls Rock Camp. For those of you who do know me, hi! I miss you guys so much. Okay, so we're gonna go over a few things today. We're gonna learn how to do the chords for the camp song. So, at the end, I will go over some different ways you can play your chords within the time signature. If you do already play piano and you kind of already know what you're doing, so you can go ahead and skip to the end for that. But for everyone else, we're just going to do some beginner stuff. I'm going to teach you the name of the keys and what a chord is, how to play a couple different types of rhythms, and how to play the first half of the camp song. So we're gonna switch over to the keyboard view and I'll see y'all in just a second. Okay, so the very first thing we need to learn are where all your notes are. Okay, so if you take a look at your keyboard, any keyboard, they're all set up like this. So it's just a pattern, okay? So see how we have these groups of 2 black keys? And then we have the groups of 3 black keys. See how there are little gaps in between them? So you're gonna find any group of 2 black keys just for this part, okay? Any group of 2 black keys. You're gonna play the white note directly to the left of the left one. That's what it should sound like. This is C, okay? So, and it's gonna be C every single time. So if you have this group of 2 black keys up here, this is also C. See how it sounds the same? Okay. So then it just goes in order after that. So C, after C we have D. After D comes E, and then F, and then G. Okay, and this is where it gets a little bit different. So after G, we go all the way back to the beginning of the alphabet. Okay, so you have G, and then you have A, B, and then you go back to C. Okay, so this one right here in the middle of your keyboard, that sounds like that. This is called middle C. Crazy, I know. So this is called middle C. We're going to learn all of our chords based around this today, okay? We're gonna be learning 4 different chords, and it's gonna be D, G, B minor, and A. Okay, those are the 4 chords we're gonna be learning today for the camp song. So the next thing we need to talk about are sharps, because there are several of these chords, 3 out of the 4 all have sharps in them. So your sharps are gonna be your black keys, okay? So you're gonna go from your original note up to the right, okay? So we're always going to be playing this way, that way, when we're talking about our sharps, okay? So here, if this is a C, see here your 2 black keys, if this is a C, this will be your C sharp, and then D, and D sharp, okay? Here it gets a little bit different because there is no black key right here. So there is no sharp. So we have C, D, E. There is no E sharp. It just goes straight to F. Okay? So the next thing we need to talk about is what a chord is. So the chords we're going to be learning today are all going to be the same basic structure. There's one weird one. There will be some written material in the description below that have the notes for all of these chords so that you can see which ones have the sharps in the middle, and there's one that has the sharp up top, and that will make more sense in just a second. So we're gonna start with our G chord, okay? Our G chord does not have any sharps or flats. So what these chords are named after is the note that it starts on, okay? That's called the root. So for the G chord, we're gonna start on G, okay? So we're gonna find C, 2 black keys. So C's right here, D, E, F, G. Okay, so here's G right here. So then all you're gonna do is you're gonna skip a note and play the next one, and then you're gonna skip a note and play the next one. And when you play them all at once, that is your G chord, okay? So now we're gonna move on to D, and this one is gonna have a black note in it, okay? It's right in the middle. So D and A are both going to have a black note right in the middle, but it's the same shape, okay, where you're going like this. So for D, we're gonna start on D. So we're gonna go C, gonna find C again. D is just the next one, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go D, skip one, just like before, okay? But this time, you're gonna play the black note. So that's gonna be an F sharp. So we have D, F sharp, and A. So there's your D chord. Okay, A is going to be almost the exact same thing, but it's just gonna start on A instead of D, okay? So we're gonna go back to C, 2 black keys, D, E, F, G, A. Okay, so now we're at A. So you're gonna do the same thing, okay? A, skip one, go to the next one. This one has a sharp in the middle as well. And then you're gonna skip one again. So that's what it is. A, C sharp, and E. Okay. So now we're at our last chord, and this one's a weird one, okay? This is B minor. So instead of having the sharp in the middle of the chord, you're gonna have the sharp at the top of the chord. Okay, so we're also gonna do something a little weird here as well, because I don't want us to have to hop all the way around the keyboard to play our chords. So let's remember one more time that it's all just a pattern, right? So anytime you have a group of 2 black keys, there's a C. Okay, so here's another C. Okay, here's another C. So if you go C, D, E, F, G, A, right? B, C. So B comes right before C on your keyboard, just like it does on the alphabet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start from our C right here, and instead of going all the way up here to B, we're just gonna go backwards one. Okay? So B minor is gonna start on a B, okay? And you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna skip one and play this one, okay? And then here's where it gets a little weird. So the sharp is at the top, okay? So you're gonna do the same thing where you skip one, but that's the sharp at the very top. So it's not in the middle like it was before. So we're playing B, D, and F sharp, okay? So all together, we have D, I'm hopping down here to G, and then B minor, and then A, okay? So you can play those as long as it's the correct notes. It does not matter if it's higher up here or if it's lower down here. Just make sure you're playing your right notes. Take the time to find your C and count up your letters from there, okay? Or down, you can go backwards as well. Just make sure that you take the time to make sure that you're playing the right notes, because it's not gonna sound right if you don't. It's gonna sound wrong no matter what. But You can totally do it. This is 100% doable. You've absolutely got this. So the next thing we need to talk about is rhythm, and more importantly, we need to talk about time signatures. So your time signature is what you're going to count to, okay? So in this case, it's gonna be 4-4. Our time signature is 4-4, which means you're just gonna count to 4, and then you're gonna start over, and we're gonna base everything around that. So the very first thing we're gonna learn is quarter notes, okay, which means you just do it once per beat. So you're gonna play on 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? So for our verse, the very first part of the camp song, we're just gonna be switching between our D chord and our G chord, and you're gonna do 4 counts of each, okay? So we're gonna go, you start at D, okay? So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. Switch to G, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. Switch to G, 2, 3, 4. Done. Okay? So this is what it sounds like with the words. Make fun of me at school. Don't think I'm very cool. My clothes, my hair, my face. They think I'm a big disgrace. I just laugh it off, 'cause they're not my boss. And that's it. So then the next part is gonna be our chorus, okay? The chorus is the most recognizable part of the song. So this is gonna be your don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be weird. That's gonna be this part of the song. So now we're gonna be switching in between all 4 chords that we've learned. So we're gonna switch between D, G, B minor, and A. And it's gonna go in that order. I'll list all the order of your chords and stuff below with the note names that go in all of the chords. So for the chorus, you're gonna switch every 2 counts. So now instead of switching every 4 counts, we're gonna switch every 2 counts. So we're gonna start with D, then G, then B minor, then A. And this is what that's gonna sound like. So we're gonna go D, switch to G, switch to B minor, switch to A, back to D, switch to G, now to B minor, and to A. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how that's gonna sound with the words. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be weird. Back to D, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4. And that's where the next verse starts. Okay? So that's it for quarter notes. The next thing we need to go over, if you wanted to do it, you could play the song just exactly like that and it would sound wonderful. If you're looking for something to kind of spice it up a little bit, let's talk about eighth notes. So eighth notes, instead of playing 1 note per beat where you're playing on 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're gonna play 2 notes per beat. Okay, so we're gonna count those 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you're playing for the same amount of time, you're just fitting more notes into that time. Okay, so we're gonna do a very quick overview of how that'll sound in the verse and the chorus. So it's just gonna be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and D and 4 and G and 2 and 3 and 4, D and 2 and 3 and 4 and G and 2 and 3 and 4, and so on and so forth until you're done with the verse. So the chorus, playing your chorus in eighth notes, it's going to make it much harder because you're switching your chords faster. So it's more that your brain has to do and more that you got to remember. But once again, with a little bit of practice, you can totally do this if this is what you want to do. If you want to stick with the quarter notes, that's also totally fine. But this is how the chorus will sound with eighth notes. So remember, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 that's it. If that is not hard enough for you, if you want something harder, if you already know how to play piano, you're looking for something a little more advanced, okay, this section is for you. So to simplify things a little bit, we're going to be counting this a little bit different. You're going to be counting it faster so that it's easier to keep track. So the way we're counting it, if you're going to play it this way, you're going to play every chord in the verse for 8 counts instead of 4. So you're going to be going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? So with the words, this is what that sounds like. Make fun of me at school. Don't think I'm very cool. My clothes, my hair, my face. They think I'm a big disgrace. I just laugh it off, 'cause they're not my boss. So, same rule for the chorus. Okay, so before we were playing it for 2 counts. Now we're going to be counting it for 4 counts because we're playing it faster, so it's easier to keep track that way. So we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 D, G, B minor, A. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be weird. And that's it for that. Okay guys, that's it. I hope this has been helpful. I hope that everybody's staying safe and you're figuring out ways to have fun this summer. And I hope this can be a part of it for you. I'm so sad that we can't be together in person this year, but I am very, very glad that we're all able to stay safe. For those of you I haven't met, I really, really hope I get to meet you next year. And for those of you that I've seen years in a row now and we missed each other this year, I hope I get to see you next year. Once again, I miss you all so much. Oh my goodness, you have no idea. But we will see each other again. Y'all have a wonderful day, have a wonderful summer, and good luck. Happy practicing. Bye.